Hey YouTube land just there doing another action figure review. Now, before I proceed, just in case you hear me coughing and spluttering all over the place, I am, at the time of this recording, currently unwell at the moment. So please forgive me if I sound a little off, but I'm still sick from like nearly a week and a half ago. I just haven't been able to shift this flu-y cold thing, whatever the hell COVID thing it is. It's been pretty hectic, so I'm going to do a two-figure review in one go. Normally I do these guys one at a time, but I'm going to do two together so I can get through them pretty quickly. So I'm having a look at two more of the hero hacks from Boss Fight Studios, and these are two of the Flash characters from the Flash Gordon movie. Oh, well, they're based on the Flash Gordon movie. They don't say anything about the movie on them, but this is Prince Barin, Prince of Arborea, and then the main character himself, Flash Gordon, King of the Impossible. So if I flip around the boxes quickly, I won't read out the bios, but I'll try and hold it there so you can read the bio for Flash. It does showcase both figures on the back of this wave. There only seems to be two figures in this wave based on the movie designs. There is a third figure, but he is part of the, was it the lunchbox kind of exclusive ones, and it's another version of Flash, but in his is he baseball? No, he's not baseball. He's football. He's football jersey or football team t-shirt. And then there is the Barin's bio there. So he's one of Ming's, basically Ming's servants, until Flash comes along and shows him that people can actually stand up to Ming the Merciless, and he kind of changes sides. So the Barin figure is quite cool. It's actually, the actor who portrayed him is Timothy Dalton. You may know him from another famous franchise of the 007 movies, or James Bond. So if you're looking for interesting Timothy Dalton James Bond head sculpt, you could get away with this. The only difference is when he was portraying James Bond, he didn't have the mustache, so you'd have to kind of maybe shave it off somehow, or just leave it on and say he grew a mustache. Now, he does come with a few accessories. Both figures come with two of these hero hack stands, so they have several peg holes for different areas, and they both have peg holes on their feet. So he said, excuse me if I'm feeling off. He does come with a sword and scabbard. I will say, when I first got this guy, his arm was very tight to move, so I had to heat it up, and in doing so I did pop the scabbard out of where it was. The scabbard is actually on him in the box, and I'm not sure if I managed to get it back in right, because it seems very loose now. Because this whole piece, I had to completely take this waist part apart, pop this back on, and then slide it back up, so it could have compromised the peg system. You can see his arm on this side is super tight compared to the arm on the opposite side, and I was afraid if I pushed it too much it would break. He does have a 360 on the arm. He has only a hinge up that much because of these kind of shoulder pad pieces, so he is limited in articulation on the arms. He does have single jointed elbows. He does have a ball jointed head, so you get some good range of movement on the head. Is that he does have that scabbard. He has a sword that goes into it. If we can just move his arm up out of the way. He does have grip hands in the box. They're default hands. He only has one set of alternative hands, and these are these kind of outstretched, kind of almost gesturing hands. He does come with two other cool accessories. He comes with this whip, which is very kind of Indiana Jones-esque, reminiscent. He has a very Robin Hood style theme going on with his outfit, or at least that kind of, look to him. And then he comes with this crossbow, which is kind of cool. It's a one piece. I was hoping this might move a bit, this armrest, because when you have it in his hand, it's a bit hard for him to pose with it unless you have it outstretched. That's really the only way you can have him holding it. You can't bend the elbow with it on him, so you can only really kind of do it pointing outstretched. You can kind of get it with the elbow, but the arm guard is then off to the side, and it makes posing a little difficult. But he does look pretty cool with it. He doesn't seem to come with any extra bolts. I think this is supposed to be like a laser crossbow type thing. I can't remember for the life of me in the movie how he portrayed it, but it is pretty cool. He does have wrist swivels, and his hands do have hinges. Now, these ones have the up and down hinge, whereas the alternate hands have the in-out. So we do have that. He does have a upper torso swivel, nothing in the lower waist I can see. He has splits that much, kick forward. He has a thigh swivel. He doesn't have an upper arm swivel. He just has those elbow joints. He has dual jointed knees, which are super tight on this guy, but he does have them. As you can hear, they're kind of ratcheted. And then he has boots and ankles kind of swivels. So from what I can tell, this guy doesn't really use any reuse parts from the other lines. When I bring in the first versions of Flash and Ming, you'll see what I mean. But moving quickly on to Flash himself, we'll go through his extra hands first, because they're not particularly impressive. Well, they're not anything to write home with, but he does have a pair of just punching fists, a left and a right punching fist. They're nothing like, they're not additional grasp hands. He comes with 3 weapons, which is quite nice. He has one that you can sling over his shoulder here. Actually does, yeah. Barin has a peg hole on his back. Now, his crossbow thing doesn't have any peg hole on it for it to clock into his back. Neither does Flash here. He doesn't have a, like, this doesn't plug in. It just sits over his back on the sling. He has a laser pistol rifle type thing, and he has this big sword, which I think he basically gets off one of Ming's guards. In fact, all his weaponry, I believe he steals from Ming's minions when they're in the middle of a fight throughout the movie. So he has this cool kind of gold and black rifle with a gold tip, which is kind of cool. He doesn't have any storage for these weapons. The only one he has the storage for really is this one that goes over his shoulder, but he can hold that. Then it's another black and gold rifle, and I don't think it's supposed to be the same rifle because they have different design. I don't think it's supposed to be the same rifle that's compressed or anything. I think it's a different one that he picks up throughout the movie. And then he has a big sword. Now, he doesn't have a sword sheath or holder like the other figures do, the ones that I'll bring in a minute, but it is a very nice kind of copper gold with red paint apps, which is quite nice. Pretty much, I think, what he had in the movie. In fact, I remember him getting this uniform in the movie. I think when they get captured at some point, is it Ming's daughter, who basically ends up falling in love with Flash, gives him this tank top to wear or something along those lines, if I remember correctly. There is a costume change in the movie. He goes from his sports top to this at some point, and this, I think, is supposed to be like Ming's logo, if I remember correctly, or something to do with Ming's army. But he has same articulation, but his hands aren't as hindered. He can actually go up a bit further. Single jointed elbow, swivel at the elbow, nothing the bicep, a hinge and a swivel in the wrist, ball jointed head. The likeness is based on the movie character, so it is different to the comic book version, but I'm not sure if they have the likeness for the actors, so they have a kind of vague likeness to them. None of them have, like, from what I can see on the boxes, they don't have anything about the movie actor likenesses or, you know, anything that kind of stuff. So they could have just gotten away with kind of giving a kind of generic, almost actor-like look. Again, ball jointed head. He has an upper diaphragm. He has a waist swivel. I'm pretty sure Barin has the waist swivel, but it's hindered by that big kind of shirt piece that's part of the rest of his shirt. He does kick forward quite a bit. He kicks out to the side that much. He does have the thigh swivel. He does also have the dual jointed knees. He does have boots. And he does have, oh yeah, they're the same boots. Oh yeah, he does actually share parts with Barin. So his legs seem to be the same legs that Barin has, or Prince Barin. So he does have the same articulation. So the same knees with the ratchets, very tight dual jointed knee. He does have the same peg holes, and he is pretty good. So he is the hero of the story, which is going to stand there. I'll bring in the tape measure. There we go. So these guys should stand around 4 inches. So Flash and is Barin stand a little taller? No, he's both around the 4 inch mark. So while they haven't done a movie version of Ming, we'll bring in the comic version. And then we have a comic version of Flash. So you can see how he differs from his comic book appearance. He does differ quite a lot from the movie, from the comic book. I don't think he even wore this kind of weird headpiece thing that he was known for in the comics. But it is what it is. And overall, he's not a bad figure. And we'll bring in a few other figures in that scale just to show comparison. So here is, I recently dug this guy out because I was wondering where he was. Here is a Two-Face from the old Mattel, I think it was Mattel Batman. It's the Arkham version of him, but it was the multiverse, DC multiverse that Mattel were doing when they were doing the whole 3 3/4 inch, 4 inch figure line for DC collectibles. Here is Deathstroke from Spin Masters. We have a Ian Malcolm from Mattel. We have Maisie from the first movie, or not first movie, but the first figure version of her, which is the, what was it, the, not Fall, yeah, Fallen Kingdom? Fallen Kingdom. We have anyone from Star Wars that we can drag in. We have another Batman figure from the Batman Spin Masters line. And unfortunately, I seem to have, we have a G.I. Joe as well. General Hawk from, yeah, we have a General Hawk figure from the Rise of Cobra toy line, which is based on the 25th anniversary kind of design. So you can see the scale is a bit wobbly. We'll bring him in. Excuse me. All in all, they're actually really good figures. Now I picked these guys up at Big Bad Toy Store. I think the only one that they didn't have in stock at the moment was the lunchbox version of Flash. I think they have all the other figures from this kind of line, the Hero Hacks. There is a few on pre-order still, which are the Phantom figures. There's a couple of different versions of Phantom. I did a review of one of the Phantom figures, which I don't have handy to show size comparison, but he does share parts between Ming and Flash. He does have some crossover parts, just like the way Barin, Prince Barin and Flash Gordon have some shared parts with the legs. Excuse me. I said I'm going to wrap it up here because, as I said, I'm not 100% at the moment. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to get over this dopey cold thing. And I hope you enjoyed this quick video review and found it entertaining at least. So there you go, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.